in the zone.
Damn right I was in the zone. Wall Street, here we come. Do you have a quick minute?
No.
Alright, nope. Sir, do you have a minute?
I don't realize.
No. Do you have a minute?
No.
No.
Are you Jewish?
No. No? Oh, okay. Minute? Oh, good.
No.
Really? Minute? No? Okay.
No.
Oh, no? Do you have a minute? Do you have a quick minute? No? Okay. Do you have a quick minute?
I don't.
You believe these but when all hope seemed lost, I locked eyes with him, the most famous man on Wall Street, Mr. Einstein.
Don't ask me about my biggest trade.
Never.
Don't ask me about any right-wing
No simple
bullshit.
stuff here.
Good.
Yeah. So, all right. So, what do you think of the situation we're in, where Wall Street is paying so much attention to Federal Reserve policy instead of traditional market fundamentals? Do you think that's a healthy situation, or do you think it's problematic?
No, they work independently. The Federal Reserve policy is right now necessary, whether you're a fan of it or not, to navigate their way. They engaged the world after COVID, right? And I'm a firm believer if they had not done what they did during COVID, then we'd all be on bread lines at the moment. So I'm a fan of it. But it's a matter of how do you unwind the trade.
Right.
So the market itself, right now, it's hard to, you have to realize where we're coming from. The world's been in a pandemic for 2.5 years. All the big companies around the world that we use on a daily basis had to shut themselves down to protect until the world comes back on, right? So stocks market does trade on some fundamentals. It's still trying to work its way past what we've been going through. So fundamentals are a little bit challenging at the moment. Federal Reserve's doing what it's doing. I'm more of a technical analyst type of a guy, so that's how I trade the market. But there are a lot of moving parts. But we have an economy that's trying to come out of inflation, come out of a pandemic, come out of supply chain issues, come out of all that stuff. And we have a Fed that got very proactive back in COVID. Now they buying mortgage-backed securities, buying bonds and all that, creating stimulus, throwing $3 trillion into the market. At some point, they got to unwind that trade. So they're independent.
Right. I got you. So do you think it's possible to have a situation where we could have economic growth while having real rates not being negative?
Yeah, absolutely. You just say everyone has to understand that there's no playbook for coming out of a global pandemic, right? I think we forgot what it was like. We were like locked in our house for 6 months. People were dying in the friggin' streets. We got to be real. Nobody was getting on planes and trains and automobiles. No one was buying gas. No one was doing shit except sitting on Zoom in their pajamas and buying shit on eBay, right? So everybody had to shut their thing down. Companies that we use on a daily basis had to shut down. So when you just can't hit a switch and everything's all working again, it takes a while to get online, right? You know, they weren't cutting trees and making lumber for a while. Well, you got to go get the trees, do that, and then nobody wants to go back to work, right? So it's a complicated story. We need to remember that we're starting to churn back. We don't know how to get through this. This is an unknown on every day. The Federal Reserve is just trying to do the best they can. This is my opinion. A lot of people don't like J-Pow. They think it's all full of shit, whatever. I'm not a fan of that. I like what's going on. It's a complicated story. It's an unknown every day. How we're going to reopen. People going back to movies, to travel, to this. How the supply chain issues are happening. People don't want to go back to work. That completely is a wild card in this crazy shit. I don't believe we're in a recession. A recession involves a lot of layoffs. We got 11 million jobs that nobody wants to take. We just have to figure out how to put them together. Excuse my language.
No, all good. Love it. What do you think about the energy situation in regard to using our strategic petroleum reserve to artificially? So we got OPEC lately saying that we're disrupting the physical oil market compared to the paper price of it, and that they're not happy about that.
So the best thing I can tell you about my opinion about energy is I don't like to mess with things where the players in the game are so powerful that they don't call me when they're going to do some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, people ask about crypto. Well, the crypto market has got some big whales in it. They do what they want to do and they fling it around, and some people get caught up in the big wave. Energy. I don't know when Iran's going to jump in and do some crazy shit. I don't know when the Saudis are going to dump 1 billion barrels a day on the market. I don't know when Venezuela is going to get back involved. I don't know what the U.S. is going to do with reserves, whether we have more or less or release them. So when there's so many moving parts, and I'm not privy to that, I'm a believer in probability and edge. So if I don't know what the big guys are doing, and the big guys just tip their pinky and shit changes, I kind of stay away.
Right, gotcha.
So I don't have an opinion.
Okay. What do you have an opinion on ESG and the role it's playing with corporations? environmental
I'm an
governance?
environmentalist. I'm a believer in climate change. I'm a believer if we don't get our shit together, we're going to be in deep trouble.
Yeah.
The fact that a lot of the big corporations are now putting some money towards it and whatnot is wonderful. There should be a lot more of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the world isn't ready for it for some reason. You know, it's one of those things we're in big denial.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if we look around at what's going on weather-wise and what's going on, you know, the melting caps and all that other shit, and the weather we've been living through, we should get a sense that my gut is, unfortunately, it's going to be too late before we realize what's going on, and I think we're going to end up in trouble. If anybody who's in power can be proactive and get people involved in that business, I'm a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm a big fan of nuclear energy for that reason, and I've been a bit confused as to why policymakers have not pushed nuclear energy for green
You know what?
energy.
I got just because it's a wild card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of just the word gets people edgy, and you know, and they don't understand that it's actually a clean energy and can be incredibly helpful. They just think of a nuclear bomb. They don't understand nuclear energy, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you've got to disconnect, I think.
Would you agree that's probably the best combination of efficiency? And,
I don't know.
No?
It's
Okay.
it's not my wheelhouse.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll give you the last one here. So, do you have any thoughts on the New York governor saying that this is not a place for Republicans and that they should all leave, or
This is not a
that Republicans do not belong here and that they should leave?
Republicans do
Yeah,
not
the
belong
New York
here.
governor said that.
You know what? I don't know her. I don't know if she's done anything that I'm that proud of. You know what? I'm really distraught at the divisiveness of both parties.
Yep.
Although I do stray towards one party than the other. I think we need to more. You know, the fact that we now, if you and I disagree about a political situation, then we are no longer friends and we can't have Thanksgiving dinner together. It's like there's so much hate around, and that's insane. You know, I think there is a party out there that is psychotic and fascist, so that may have tipped my card which side I'm on. I think the that's going on is crazy. There's way too much hate. People, a party that doesn't want government control suddenly wants to control everyone else's lives. Seems a little bit of a weird paradox to me, right? So that's a little bit disconnect for me. I'd love everybody. I don't mind what side you're on, as long as there's a discussion, right? And there's communication, 100%. Negotiation, right? The fact that it's this or this and you in the middle is insane. It doesn't lead anywhere good.
Yeah.
It is completely a breakdown of communication.
Right. Yeah,
That's all.
That's my entire purpose. My channel's called Relentless Independent because I'm completely independent. I think both sides are crazy, and you know, if taken to their true extent, it's a bad situation. So, you know, I'm trying to break people off of hypnosis, get people more towards the middle. So
it's like arguing with a drunk person.
Oh, it is.
It really is.
Yeah.
I learned that a long time ago. Never do it.
Yeah.
You won't get anywhere, and they won't remember what happened anyway. But I think there's a little craziness on. There's a lot of crazy on one side, a little crazy on the other. But people are in this crazy. They're in a blackout.
Yeah.
And the blackout is dangerous.
Yeah.
Right. That people are believing some of the shit they're believing. You know, that there are people coming from Mars, and and there's a conspiracy of whatever. But anyway, that's my opinion.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Great talking to you.
Good to meet you.